Okay, YouTube, I'll just let you know right now, I'm going to try my best not to Brita this review.
If there was something wrong, would you be all so strong? Would you do what it takes to move this whole life along? I like to think I would, you know, I like to think I would. But I can guarantee that what you see is not reality. Never thought she makes a point to make it get a boy. She said it's easy, but in the end you have no choice. And you know, so just the way that...
Alright there, hi, my name is Mike Smith. And today we're going to be looking back at the latest episode of Community in my latest segment of Community Recap. I'm sorry this review came a little late, I've had kind of a hectic weekend, a lot going on. So, Community Recap today. Tomorrow I'm going to post my review of The Rum Diary, and that should be good. So we'll see how things go. So, today I'm here to talk about Community, the latest episode, the latest Halloween episode, Spooky, or Horror Fiction in 7 Spooky Steps, I believe the name is. Now, it's very similar to the episode that aired previously, Remedial Chaos Theory, which again, I loved. I love that episode. And at first it was slightly off-putting to have such a similar episode so soon afterwards, but the episode worked very well. It worked as, obviously it was very funny, because it's Community and it's always really funny, but it also worked as, Remedial Chaos Theory showed us what it would be like if a member of the group was absent from the group. How it would be like, how they interact with each other and how they affect one another when that member is gone, and it did that for every member. This episode had each of the members of the group telling a different scary story, designed to determine which of them happens to be a psychopath because of the tests that Brita gave them. That's kind of what they were determined as. What Remedial Chaos Theory did is, as I said, it let them show you what it was like without a member of the group. I think this episode's a very good companion piece to that episode, because this episode has it's another 7 different storylines here, but it shows you how the characters relate to each other in a way. It shows you how the characters see each other in that way, like how Troy tells his story and Pierce is the crazy old scientist who's like the crazy old man. Abed tells his story and it's all logical and rational, so he feels like he's the only rational one among the group, sort of thing. I think the most telling was Shirley's story, where everybody else in the group was, which in my opinion was the best story. Just putting that out there. But Shirley's story was, Rapture happened and all of the other members of the group were listening to heavy metal and doing drugs, and they were left behind while Shirley went up to heaven. And the dean was the devil, which was amazing. So I thought that was a really interesting way to do it. I will say that Remedial Chaos Theory was better, but I did really like this episode. And there are a lot of really funny lines in this episode. I particularly liked when Pierce sewed Troy and Abed together, and they got their revenge by replacing his butt to his chest. And he was like, "Oh, but you've given me a pair of awesome boobs to play with anytime I want." They're like, "With what?" And then it shows they put his hands on his feet and put his feet on his hands, and he's just like, "Ah, ah, ah." It was very humorous to me. And as I said, I loved Shirley's thing. I thought that had the best lines and just the best overall, just really funny. I particularly liked when they're all the groups just dancing around in the cabin, and it's and Jeff's just like, "Oh man, these drugs are wearing off," and Britta's just like, "I got some right here," and she has this big giant jar labeled weed, and she just pours it all over herself, and Jeff's just like, "That's my kind of pot bomb." Yeah, that's another thing that actually worked really well is every story that was told felt like it was told by those different characters. Like Britta's story at the beginning, the announcer was saying things like, it's like, "Oh yeah, there's a hook hand who's he's in the woods and stuff," and he said it like Britta would have said it. Abed was like how Abed would have done it, and I thought that was really good, for it. So yeah, so definitely a very good episode of Community. Probably, it's up there. I mean, Remedial Chaos Theory is still my favorite of the season. I'm not sure if any episode will top that episode because it was so great, but we can hope. If any show can do it, it's Community. It is Community. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to talk about. Really, I just wanted to talk about how the episode related to remedial chaos theory and how it sort of showed how the characters relate to each other and how they see one another as different people. I am interested though because at the end of remedial chaos theory, it leads you on to believe that the last timeline is the one that you follow. That's the real timeline, the one where Jeff leaves and everybody's dancing to Roxanne. But I mean, in this episode and in the third episode of the season, which was supposed to take place after remedial chaos theory, but the production codes got switched. I don't know. It seems to me like they're more hinting towards timeline 5, the Abed timeline, where Abed left to go get the pizza in remedial chaos theory, just because that was the timeline where Shirley found out about Britta smoking pot, and both of those both of those recent episodes that I mentioned have Shirley mentioning Britta smoking pot. And there's a couple other things in there too, but mostly it's that. So, I mean, it's an interesting theory if Timeline 5 is actually the real one, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have total faith in Community. I think it's awesome. People should really watch it because it's great. So, yeah, I guess that about wraps it up. My name is Mike Smith. You just watched my Community recap on YouTube. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoy talking about Community. So, yeah. So, yeah, as I said, I will be doing a review of the Rum Diary probably tomorrow. I saw it over the weekend, but never got a chance to do it. I'll do my next Community recap, hopefully shortly after the new episode airs. And I'll do another What I've Been Watching at some point soon. All right. So, I'm Mike Smith. You chillax, YouTube, you're cool cats and such. All right, later.